Smock Alley Theatre for Smock Alley's Seen and Heard Festival of New Work. I just have a couple of housekeeping notes before we start. Torfi Jar under its ALS garden and the Duka Hotfoga at the hall. That is, please make sure all mobile phones are switched off completely and do not use any photography or recording equipment during performances. In the unlikely event of an emergency, our fire exits are this green door down here on my right and the door through which you enter. We are very excited for this evening's productions of Welcome to the Memory Palace and Triangles. The shows will last approximately 1 hour with no interval. There will be a short break during the changeover. We will ask you to please remain in your seats during this time. Don't worry, the bar will be open after the show. Finally, you'll notice on your way in that we are gathering your expectations and feedback in a number of ways. You can text, you can tweet. We have a candy polling station, we have an anonymous polling station, and we've got a video booth as well. So if you can please take a minute to leave feedback in any form at all, it's really helpful for the performers and for ourselves as well. Tasulugwin Kabani Shipatna Vasalari, thank you and enjoy the performance.
Start. Imagine a strawberry. Picture it, resting in the palm of your hand. Feel the weight of it, just sitting there, being a strawberry. It's heavier than you'd expect.
The internet runs on between 75 and 100 million servers all over the world. If you estimate the amount of electricity activating the computer chips inside the servers at any given moment, and if you know the mass of an individual electron, it's possible to calculate the weight of the internet.
A physicist actually did this back in 2006. He reckons it's about 50 grams, which is the same as a medium-sized strawberry.
Which is about the same weight as a small egg.
Which is equal to the weight of 10 brand new biros.
Which is roughly the same as 120 standard paper clips.
Which is, give or take, the same as 15 sugar cubes.
Think of your first kiss. Think of the first street you lived on. Think of your first pet and when it died.
A memory palace is a mnemonic device, a way of remembering things, and it's hundreds of years old. It comes from a time when your intelligence, your learning, was based on how much you could remember.
When you remember something, you're not remembering the thing itself, you're just remembering the last time you remembered it. And every time you remember something, you change that memory. If you want to keep your memory of that treasured moment as perfect and accurate as possible, it's probably best not to think about it ever again.
Once there was a great library in the ancient city of Alexandria in Egypt. It was part of the Temple of Muses, which is where we get the word museum. Scholars from all over Europe and Africa and Asia came to study there. It's said that ships that docked in Alexandria's harbour were boarded and searched for books and scrolls. If any were found, they were seized and copied by hand. The originals went to the library, and the owners were given the copy. It was the largest collection of knowledge in the ancient world.
The Temple of Muses and its great library burned to the ground, or were torn down, or sold off piece by piece, or just crumbled away to dust after years of neglect. We don't know. We do know that it was there, and we know that it's not anymore. And we have no way of knowing what was lost.
Enter. Come with me into the great hall of the Temple of Muses.
Follow me into the great hall of the Temple of Muses.
It's nice and cool and shaded here, away from the heat of the afternoon. Look up. You can see the sky through the large square opening in the ceiling.
I know it's chilly in here. It gets cold at night. You can see the stars through the opening in the roof.
The floors and the walls are different kinds of marble, and there are painted marble statues of the 9 muses in little alcoves.
The room is long, overlooked by 2 stories of balconies. The roof is supported by 2 rows of columns.
There's a signal fire, 12 feet of dry wood and kindling stacked in a kind of pyramid in the middle of the Great Hall. It isn't lit, so we're going to turn left and step through that first door, the one in front of you.
There is a signal fire, a 12-foot tall pyramid of wood and kindling in the centre of the room. It's strange that it would be here at all, given you can't see it from outside, but don't worry about that. It's lit, which means we're turning to the right and going through this door here. Room number 1, a narrow white room in an art gallery. Projected onto the wall to your right is a video with sound. In it, a young man with dark brown hair, wearing a red, black and grey jacket over a blue sweater, is looking directly at the camera. There are 2 elephants in the background behind a wire fence. The man says,
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants.
he glances over his left shoulder at the elephants, then looks back at the camera.
The cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long trunks, and that's cool.
He looks back over the same shoulder at the elephants. You can hear what could be a child or perhaps a goat cry out from somewhere out of shot. He looks back at the camera.
And that's pretty much all there is to say.
And the video loops back to the beginning. It's 19 seconds long and it was shot in San Diego Zoo. The man in it is Jawed Karim, one of the co-founders of YouTube. This is the first YouTube video. It was posted at 8:27 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday the 23rd of April 2005 with the title, Me at the Zoo. It has since then been viewed nearly 29 million times. For every second of real time that passes, over an hour of YouTube time is created. Now go through that door to the far end of the room.